Hey guys, Gravity Consultant here. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm having my Java for the day. And today I'm going to be talking about the first steps when you get your first client. So hopefully this will help you as you're going through the certification program, the accelerator, the done for you, all this kind of stuff. Once you get your first client, there's a couple of things that you have to prepare for that maybe you were not aware of. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 strategies, 3 things that will help you better prepare for your first client. But before I do that, make sure and click the like, click the subscribe, click the bell, click away, click all these things. I'm so tired right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very tired. I didn't have a good sleep last night. I was listening to a phone call that my client had with a potential customer, and it was a 2-hour phone call. So one that felt like it was too long. Like, I like to keep the calls down to about 30 minutes. So the first thing I would say when you get your first client is you have to control your own ego, because the first thing I think people want to do is they want to come in and fix how everything works in another person's business, and you're not fully appreciating that they took a lot of time and energy in developing their course, in getting leads. They're paying for Facebook ads, all this kind of stuff. And for you as an inbound closer and enrollment specialist to think that you're going to change all this stuff, like, it's just, it's foolish. So I would say the first thing is when you get your first client is don't try and change the world. Hone your craft. So what I'm doing this morning is, now that I have a better idea of how my client talks to their prospects, I can tweak my script for that as well, so that they're comfortable with how I present, and then also any prospects that I come across on behalf of my client, it'll make sense to them as well. So that's what I'm doing this morning, is I'm tweaking my 6-page PDF that I got from Traffic and Funnels, from the Sales Mentor, if you will, the accelerator program. So it's a great script as a base to start off with, and it's all designed for the client kit. So once you have your first client, now you have to tweak your script for whatever niche you're in. So if it's fitness, if it's health and wellness, if it's nutrition, if it's personal development, if it's coaching, all this kind of stuff, you have to tweak your script. So the first thing I mentioned was drop the ego. The second thing is you're going to have to tweak your script to fit whatever niche that you're going into. And then the third thing is you're going to have to learn software. And from anything that I've observed, you can't get around that. You can't just write all your appointments on your book. You have to learn a few different types of software. So obviously there's Salesforce. The big one seems to be for closers, enrollment specialists, is Close.io. So if you're not familiar with that software, I would highly encourage you to check it out. There's free demos that you can go through. I think it's $20 a month, and I'll most likely be subscribing to that down the road. But you could try it out for free, and you can also go onto YouTube and learn all these various customer management software. So those are the 3 things, and I hope this helps out. You have to drop the ego, because you think that you could just solve all the world's problems right out of the gate. And really, the best way that you can help your client is to make sure that you understand your niche that you're in, that you're representing, and understand your script so well that by the time you get on the phone, you're not hesitating, you're not going, ooh, I didn't see that coming, all this kind of stuff. So those are the three things that I would implore you, I would suggest that you work on. That's why we do role plays. I have 3 role plays, I think, booked for today. So never get tired of doing role plays, because eventually you'll turn your script into your role play so that you can practice and practice and practice and practice. And you'll get away from your original script, but you'll tweak it towards whoever your future client is. That's why we do role plays. And the better you get at doing role plays, the more comfortable you get, the more natural you'll sound, all that kind of good stuff. And honestly, I really hope these videos are helping you, because back in November, a lot of this was new to me. Like, I used to sell life insurance, and I'd sell coffee for companies. I do some recruiting for engineers, that kind of stuff. So I had a little bit of sales background, but I never really had a formal training like the sales mentor. So that course, I will be forever grateful. There's also other courses, obviously, you can take online. You can go through Dan Locke's high ticket closing program. You can go through, there's Ted McGrath's, there's Sonny Lenarduzzi's, there's Jordan Belfort's, which I've had a taste of his program as well. And that one's pretty good too. It's the straight line. They're all very similar, very similar. So eventually you'll have to get to a point where you just pick one course and just put everything into it. And somebody mentioned in one of the comments that they asked if I had paid for the certification program, and yes, I did. It cost a pretty penny for that, and it was worth every nickel. So now I'll be watching those videos again, going through them a 3rd time. That's how powerful they are. And once you get your first client, you'll understand what I mean, by knowing your material, going through, taking meticulous notes. I'm telling you, if you take the accelerator program, I think it's $97, there's enough information in there for you to get your first client, for you to rock and roll. So that's it for this video. Like, I implore you that if you're in the program, to study as hard as you can and to not question anything, because once you get your first client, the lights will come on and it's go time. There's no more fooling around now. There's no more sloughing off and all this kind of stuff. You got to get up at ridiculous hours, and you got to study, and you got to tweak your script. You got to know your stuff. You got to make time for reading. You got to make time for role plays. So like, I booked 3 hours for role plays today, and I'm working on my script from 4 till probably about 6 or 7 o'clock. So that's 6 hours. I'm not even on a phone call. So that's 6 hours of prepping every single day. It's like you're practicing. You're almost like, I'll give a quick illustration and then I'll wrap this thing up. But I remember watching a Kobe Bryant video, God rest his soul, and he said that normally in the NBA what you have is 2-a-day practices. So you get up, you go to the gym at about 10 o'clock and you practice till about noon. Then everybody goes off and either has a nap or goes out for lunch or whatever, and then they come back either late afternoon or the evening for the second practice. So they have 2 a day. What Kobe would do is he'd get up at about 4 o'clock and he'd already have a practice till about 6 o'clock, and then he'd go home, and then he'd come for the second practice and then the third practice. He would do this for years. So one of the things that was interesting that he said was, by the time a rookie comes into the NBA, they're way behind the game, because he already had so much experience practicing. He would do 3 days for years. So in order for them to catch up to him, they would have to more than match what he did. So if he did 6 hours of practice, they would have to do 8 hours just to catch up to him, and most weren't willing to do that. Most were happy with their millions of dollars and 2-a-day practice. So he said, that's why I'm the greatest. That's why they'll never catch me. So that's why I get up at 4. I work on my script, and I'll watch training videos, all that kind of stuff from 4 to 7. And then I'll do role plays for a couple of hours. And obviously the role plays aren't every day, but it's important to try and schedule at least, I would say, at least 4 role plays a week. So that gives you enough time to spread it out. Because once you're on the phone, your habits will dictate how successful you'll be over the phone. I hope that makes sense. Rock and roll. So I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. See you later.